Okay, we now know that man is Mitchell Pearce. So, Maddie, question to you. He's been criticised for not doing it before. Why? Well, this time it'll be different.
He's like a totally different person, Gus, Mitchell. Mitchell, and you see it when he's interviewed. Now, I'll give an example. If you watch an interview with Mitchell about 2 or 3 years ago, talks scattergun. Yeah, mate, you can bet, and that's how he used to talk. The eyes are darting all over the place. There's so much going on in his head. And that sort of, I reckon that really showed how he used to play. There was so much going on in his head. He found it hard to really focus on certain things, where now he's had a completely change of lifestyle and a change of focus. And he's far more deliberate. You watch him interviewed now, and he just talks deliberately down the camera. His eyes are focused. He's precise. He's succinct, and he's playing the same way. It's like, in those eyes, you used to be able to see what was going on in the head, and it's exactly the same now. There's far more focus. What's really important, a couple of things really important for Mitchell I see in his game at the moment is that, like Laurie said, in the really important moments this year when the Roosters have needed something, he's come up with it. He's come up with that really important try, that really important play. And I like the way Mitchell really had a lot of problems in his early to mid part of his career with his kicking game, getting his kicking game right. Because for Mitchell, his kicking game was an afterthought. Like when you're playing in the halves, you've got to compartmentalise. So, for instance, you're steering a side around the park. Take me to the 50 and this is on. Send me back to the 30. Now we're going to do this. Then all of a sudden the fifth tackle comes. And you go, righto, now I've got to find the right kick. And for young halves, it's hard then because all of a sudden the last tackle's here and they just get the ball and they get rid of it and there's no thought to their kick. It's later on in your career that you don't need as much time. You go, okay, send us here. All of a sudden the hand goes up and straight away you know what kick you want to put in. And you've got to be clear in your head what sort of kick you're going to put in before the ball hits your hands. And I can see that with Mitchell. He steadies himself, a couple of deep breaths. He knows what he's going to put in. And he does it. And it's the last piece in the puzzle for a playmaker. When a playmaker can dictate the tempo of the game and dictate the contest by his kicking game, that is when you're seeing a playmaker in the peak of his powers in peak form. And that's what Mitchell's doing. So he's like a different player.
God, that's fascinating.
It is.
To hear you talk about those specifics of his game.
And all the Rooster games that I've been to and watched, you're right, Anzac Day when they needed to try under the sticks. On Sunday against Canterbury. And his kicking game, the short kicking game now is on. The long kicking game's always been long and quite consistent.
Because the long kicking game is easier, Gus. Because you get the ball, you have a look down the field, there's the fullback, and you're smashing as hard as you can away from him. It's easy. You kick it to where the seagulls are. And because that's where there's no one, as Jack Gibson used to say. But when you get it in the attacking position, 30 out, 20 out, and there's real consequences to what sort of kick you're going to put in. If you kick it too deep, 7 tackle set. They catch it on the full 7 tackle set. If you put the wrong kick in, they take the ball and they start marching down the field.
It's precision.
It is Freo, because I can have the best set of 6 in the world, right? We can do this, we can do that, and we almost score, and we're killing the opposition. Then on the last tackle, I get the ball and I kick the ball dead. It's a bad set. Whereas we can have a really rubbish set, but I put in a great kick. It's a great set. So good end of sets dictate sets.
There was chat leading up to the selection of our Origin team that Robbie Farah might get a go. He didn't, obviously. Would he have worked with Pearce, or why don't they work well together? Is that part of the reason that Robbie didn't get selected?
It's the constant battle that goes on oftentimes between hookers and halfbacks. You get a creative hooker who likes to jump out of dummy half, right? And they like to jump out and they see themselves as the primary playmaker.
Yeah, right.
Where halves generally get up in the advantage line, get right up and go, give me the ball early. Don't stuff around, get the ball in my hands, because they're communicating to their back rowers. Like Mitchell's talking to Boyd Cordner, right? And he's saying, hit a hole outside that defender just there. Yep. And all of a sudden the hooker gets out and starts to run. He's going, come on, give me the ball, because the defence is rushing him. Pete's is a guy that'll just fire the ball off the ground. Jake Friend, when he plays at the Roosters, will fire the ball off the ground. Whereas Robbie's a guy that likes to scoop the ball up, take a few steps, engage the marker, then let the ball go.
Is that a show of dominance, like wanting to prove your worth?
I don't think so. I think in the past, Freo, it's been necessity for Robbie, because Robbie's had to be that type of player at the Tigers. And the Tigers under Tim Sheens, when he came through as a young player, played with a moving dummy half. So that's the reason why. What he's saying is that, right, I'm going to pick you, Mitchell, and I'm not going to pick Robbie because I believe that, Mitchell, you're more important to the side. If Robbie was more important, there probably would have been a different halfback there.
Yeah.
The Grill Team, Gus, MG, and Matty Johns.